Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in today and welcome to this session. Today I want to do some interesting topic and gratitude and gratitude on where we stand compared to where we were 10 years ago. And I guarantee you, if you look back, if you look at the year of where you're standing right now, but if you turn back pages to 10 years ago, which is 2011, and now where we are at is 2021, take a pen and paper and list down the things you can be grateful for. This is one way of appreciating how far we reached, how much progress we have seen. I'm not saying that the journey was like it's like not like a constant line, but I'm sure you must have seen ups and downs, and I'm sure you must have gone through certain challenges, certain hiccups, and in all aspects of your life. Hey, the good news is you're still breathing, and if you look back on those wonderful things which you can think of, and I'm sure you can list minimum at least you can be grateful of for 10 things, 50 things, 20 things, 100 things, anywhere in between, or at least you can be grateful for one thing, and that's the good start that you should be doing. So it's very important for us to appreciate how far we reached, how much progress we have seen last 10 years. Now you can think back from year on year, but then if you look back either 5 years back or 10 years back, where you were you in all aspects of your life, and where you're standing right now, maybe due to the covid and due to the present circumstances you might not be seeing so much of positivity around you at this point of time, but it didn't mean that you didn't grow for last 10 years from wherever the point you were where you stand today. And you can have a countless number of things you can be grateful for. And now I just want to give you a couple of things on my list which I'm grateful for and I'm thankful for, and then the way I've seen the progress. Because see, there are some certain interesting and important aspects on this. As I go with the list, you will come to know, and that could mean many things to you. Just to give a small example on my how far I progressed in terms of my family and relationships. Standing in 2011, I would never think in 2021 I would be married with two kids and a wonderful family. But hey, you know what? 2011, I had no vision, nothing. So I was just taking day as it goes. But then you see what happened in 2012, where I got married. 2014, our first son was born. His name is Lucas. 2016, our second son was born, Noah. Now, when I look back in 2011, I'm happy to have a wonderful family around me. And of course, if you ask me from 2011 to 2021, was it a wonderful journey? Was a great, everything wonderful like what we see in social media was happy? No, we have a lot of hiccups, having two babies, getting married, in terms of finances, in terms of many aspects of how to lead life, in terms of finances, most of the problems comes due through the finances, right? If you understood very well, if you're into the line. But however, hey, you know what? Here I am, still breathing, have a wonderful family, but I can be grateful for those things. I cannot be cribbing and say what I could have done better. But whatever the things happened during these 10 years, I'm grateful for each and every interaction I had with my family members, each and every interaction. And more importantly, I'm so blessed and blessed to have my two sons. And of course, my sons will not come without my wife. So, I'm grateful for my wife and then families on the other side, and also thankful for the entire family who supported me for who I am today, and then in terms of that progress. Now when I look back 10 years ago, and I wouldn't expect that 10 years from now I would be having this wonderful family around me, but that's not the case. So we take one day at a time, but then at least having a vision and then being grateful for it. So look at your list, look at 10 years ago, where were you, and then now when you as you stand, and then see how many things you can be grateful for, how many things you can be thankful for. So that's a good way to start. Now in terms of finances, yes, I was having a great job at the time, but I decided to leave. Particularly, I was working on a ship, so I decided to leave in order to have a stable life, in a land, so on and so forth. But then it was not a immediately, I got a great opportunity, so on and so forth. But then I took a big cut, but then slowly I progressed and moved forward. So, in terms of financial, I'm still grateful. I still have a job. I'm happy during these times. I still hold a job, wonderful job. And yeah, I mean, you can always think back and complain about what didn't work out well. But I know when I see myself taking that call of leaving the ship and working on a line, and where I stand today, I'm really proud. At the same time, there's a progress. That's what I'm trying to tell you, and then I can be thankful for a countless number of interactions I had with a lot of people around me. That's the most important thing. As I said, profession from 2011, I worked for four different companies. What does it mean? Like, I have a different interactions. I work with the different people, and I worked in a different countries. It's all about your learning. You're learning new skills, new language, and many aspects in terms of your personal and also professionally growing. New interactions, new places will always give you pleasant surprises. Some are good, some are bad, and you can, again, end of the day, you can think back and say, where am I, where the hell did I do, so on and so forth. But at the same time, when I look at myself 10 years ago and where I stand today, I'm really proud. At the same time, I'm not being saying that I'm proud. I'm happy with what I see. And it's not the same thing. If you asked me 10 years ago what was imagination of my profession, I cannot give you the answers for that. It's one day at a time, the progress. Opportunities come. There are. If you ask me, Madhu, how many jobs did you apply during that time? I can tell you countless places, countless, and I can't give you a count on those ones. So many rejections, but yes, there are some S's which is coming, and you keep going at it. But see, in this process, one thing I understood is like, applying job is in your hand. What happens over there is not in your hand. So as long as you do the right thing in order to apply, find the different resources to reach to the right place. And if you don't get a response, that's okay. That's okay, but at least you did a try. And unfortunately, things what you can control, only you can control. And whether you're getting a job offer with the interview, so on and so forth, that's not in your control. So you don't need to get discouraged. You don't need to get worried about why they're not responding. I had 20 years experience. I apply for the job. Why they're not responding? No, 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 no. You don't have a control on that one. Try to understand. Try to do the things what is in your control. If you see 10 jobs, apply for 10 jobs. If you see one job, apply for one job. So does each and everything, each and every aspect of your life. So if you look at this, I can be grateful for things what I had accomplished last 10 years. At the same time, I'm very happy I still hold the job on a wonderful company. And what happens 10 years from now, I have high hopes, and I'm sure I would be reaching a different levels altogether. That's my imagination, but I don't know where I stand. But definitely, when I make it 10 years from now, the journey of the 3,650 days, it's a lot. It's a lot. But when you take one step at a time, keep doing the best what you can do during the 24 hours of the time what you have, you can always have a wonderful opportunities which is coming at you. Moving on to the next point, in terms of a business, and I'm sure some of you are not only working in terms of a job, probably you started a business, or you probably started thinking of doing a business, or probably you're on the way to get to do something. And I'm sure if you look into terms of 2011 and 2021, I mean, in terms of a business, yeah, there is a point of time in 20 pretty much 2014 to 2015, I started a business, a small business, since I was in a housekeeping. So I thought of, okay, I can do everything, I wanted to try. So I gave it a try. 6 months to 8 months passed, and I knew that there are many things I didn't know about how to start a business, because coming back from the ships and, working for some time, and then I was thinking that, oh, I can do that. That's something that, unless until you properly gauge yourself, where you stand, how the things, it's a good lesson for me, and the things what I should do in the future in case if I pursue towards in the direction. But however, when I knew that that's not my cup of tea at that point of time, I had to step back and say, hey, you know what? You need to wrap this up. Probably some might say, okay, 6 months to 8 months is a very short period of time to decide whether you can grow in that particular business. But considering the situations where I was in, I thought, wrapping up the business is something that I should be doing. So that was a failure, fair enough. But then that gave me a great exposure again, great understanding when I think back point to the point, what should I focus, what I should not focus, and where do I need to stand, and so on and so forth. So that's one of the business failures, I would say. I mean, I wouldn't say that's the biggest investments I did or whatever, but then yes, still there was a loss incurred in that process. And I'm sure if you're coming from a business perspective, you understand, even if you lose 100 rupees in your business, you lost the business, right? So probably you lost your capital. You lost your capital means that you didn't gain anything out of it. But at the end of the day, that gave me great lessons. At the same time, I never thought that I would start my journey in a YouTube. Pretty much, it started in 2018, and then I continued to do that, even though it's not giving me any results at this point of time as I speak. But that's something that I realized that I can do it. I enjoy doing that, so that I continue to do that. And I'm not sure what that would bring me in 10 years from now, 5 years from now. As long as I keep going on something that I love doing, as I speak, at this point in time, is it giving me anything in terms of monetary gains? Absolutely nothing. But what is that giving me is a satisfaction. And moreover, when I do a video and I start doing something, I always do some kind of a research, something that I learned, something I read, something inspired me during the day, which I thought that probably that could help and the way the process somewhere down the line, probably 5 years, 6 years down the line, someone who's in need, probably that motivational word, probably that particular situation, probably that particular scenario, which can help that person to guide in the right direction. So that's the idea. But yeah, you know what? Hell yes. If you ask me, pretty much in last 3 years, I would say I have 250 plus videos. Uh, that's it. Once it is done, it is done. It is there. And who knows? Maybe my kids will watch one day when they grow up, and they see probably when I get older, probably I'll not be short thinking that way I was thinking I was the way I was talking. So probably they can run through these videos and say, hey, what did my father do? Or what, what was my father saying in such kind of situation? So you never know how it's going to help to anybody. And at the end of the day, if it even touches one person, it does even touch one person to inspire. And then I'm happy during that journey. But then you understand, what have you done? Where were you, either in a profession or business 10 years ago, and where do you stand today? It's very important. You can be grateful. When I think back, I said, those 250 videos plus videos, I would say, uh, I didn't do it in one day. Probably I was doing one at a time, two at a time, three at a time, or 10 videos a month, so on and so forth. But if you sometimes we don't have any motivation. If I have one YouTube view, I say, what the hell I need to even bother to do and spend my time? But you know what? Somehow my my heart says, just do it. Come on, keep moving. You cannot just put a seed and expect the mango trees to pop up in 6 months down the line. So you need to keep the process. It happens to each and every area of interest. When you think back about your profession, about your job, how much was your salary when you started, and where do you stand at this point of time? And then was it an immediate increase? Was it, did it take 5 years to 10 years? So there are many things that if you think back or reflect back, and the answers are right in front of us, but then we sometimes don't reflect those and see, what, I'm fortunate, I'm glad, I'm happy to have this experience, so on and so forth. So gratitude, at the same time, see in terms of your business and profession, where you are at 2011, and then where you stand right at this point of time. Now, 10 years, as I said, these are some of the areas where I can be grateful for, where I'm thinking that I definitely made a progress on each and every area's aspect I touched. But if you ask me, okay, was that easy, straight line? Definitely not. There are so many hiccups. There are so many issues. Hey, good news is I'm still breathing. I'm happy. The great thing about during this Corona times, if you're looking at your family members. If you're looking at close friends and family members and then they're still talking to you, that means you're actually one of the luckiest as well. You are one of the luckiest as well, because there are so many families lost their friends and close relatives, and it's painful to understand and go through those kind of situations. But hey, you know what? In 10 years, you happen to be a very healthy man, or very healthy woman. You should be grateful and you should be proud of yourself for whatever the food habits you have, for whatever the habits you accumulated over a period of time. Probably, you have having a wonderful habits of eating, taking some disciplines in what you eat, or doing some fasting, or doing some physical exercises, so on and so forth. So you should be grateful for if you already health was in a very good condition for the last 10 years. Yes, there are small hiccups, cold and fever, these that will pop up but during some point of time. I honestly don't remember that I was fallen sick during last 10 years, other than probably one or two times I got a high fever, and that's it. That's all about it. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful for that, for each and every habit I created, and also keeping at it. It's not a one time marathon. If I lose all the things what I have in terms of my health, and probably 10 years from now I will develop my size. Probably I'll have start having different issues. You never know. So once you pick up the habits, stay in those for a long run. So, and that can give you great results. That's one thing. So 10 years, if you ask me, 3,650 days, is it a small number? No, it's a lot. But many people come back to one point saying that, I don't have time. You know what? 60 seconds, I'm coming up with some videos on 60 seconds. What can you do? 60 seconds is a lot, and you can do many things during the 60 seconds if you really closely pay attention to it. So be grateful for what you have, and then I want you to take a pen and paper and write it down. How many things are you grateful for? How much of progress have you seen from 2011 till 2021, last 10 years? And how many things can you be grateful for? And how many people you can share the gratitude, and ask your friends and families to do the same thing. So it's very important that even though there are many negative things which is happening around us, it's very important to focus on the good things which happened. And I'm sure, I guarantee you have 1 things to 10 things to 20 things to 50 things, if not more, during those 10 years. And the fact that you're watching this video, you're still healthy enough, you still hold a job, you still have a wonderful family, you're one of these luckiest people. And continue doing the best you can do, but always be grateful for what you are grateful for. Wake up a day, you're already feeling blessed, and say thanks to the 100 people who is helping you on your journey. Sometimes people think that, oh no, you know what, I did my part, so he didn't do any favors for me. No, don't go that direction, because it's not about smiling. Smiling to a genuine person, smiling to a stranger is, in the form of giving a charity. Kind word is a kind of a charity. So you don't have to take out entire your money to share someone. Okay, if you can do that, that's great and good enough. But then at the same time, kind words, genuine smile, saying thank you, these are the kind things that you can do just to the people around you. So be grateful. I wanted to see, list out what are the things that you already progressed during the last 10 years, and that's a great way to start off how much grateful you are already for your life. And I'm looking forward to see you what is your future holding you from 2031, from now onwards. When you have a high hopes, when you have there is a plan, there is a goal. Maybe you will not reach exactly the same what you aimed at it, but you will be definitely much better than the people around you, people who has no vision, no goals, and not know where they're going. Compared to, if you have a certain point, this is where I stand today, and that's where my destination. And then even you take those small little steps can get you there, but eventually you need to find out a ways what best can work in your life. At the same time, it's not a one step journey, or it's not like it's a constant process. So keep learning, keep growing. I wanted to be thankful, and I wanted to say thank you for going through this video, and I hope this is helpful for you to show some gratitude for your life, and more importantly, people around you, and be grateful. Thanks for watching, and I can't wait to see you how many things you progress during last 10 years, and I can't wait to see you how much progress you're going to make 10 years from now, and a wonderful life journey ahead of you. You're in terms of a professional, financial, and all the success. More importantly, list down wonderful things which happened last 10 years. Don't focus on the negative things. This could have done better. Then no, we are focusing only the good things which happen, and what are the things you're grateful for. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching.